When someone dies and you've got to make these arrangements, it was very overwhelming for myself.
Introducing the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society, founded to help the senior consumer make sure everything will go as smoothly and easily as possible for the loved ones who will someday be in charge of their funeral.
You have to find a funeral home, find a cemetery, pick out all the stuff that you want to go along with it, and how much everything actually cost. We were just mind-boggled.
The longer you wait to get your funeral plan done, the longer you continue to put your loved ones at risk, making them responsible for all the many details of your funeral in the event of your death, with nothing to guide them, or for that matter, with nothing to protect them.
I know that I wasn't in my right mind, and I think they could have talked me into anything, and I would have been financially, I don't know how I would have paid for it, but I know that I would have done anything at that moment.
It's true. Grieving loved ones handicapped by emotional strain often overspend by hundreds, even thousands of dollars when there is no funeral plan to guide them. The Funeral Consumer Guardian Society, or FCGS, is a consumer advocate. It's not affiliated with any funeral home or cemetery, and not in favor of one approach over another. FCGS offers the member free funeral planning assistance and other services.
We couldn't afford the $35,000, $4,000 coffin, and when you made that phone call to them and let them know that this is what we were willing to pay and got us into the exact coffin that we wanted.
She kept the cost down, to a fair, reasonable price. God, she did so much. She really was that middleman person that, that made sure everything ran smoothly.
Real people talking. And in just a few words, you have a good sense of the caring spirit of the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society, as it offers members free funeral planning assistance, free funeral plan security service, and free funeral plan activation help. Your funeral plan is one of your most important documents. It puts you in control of exactly how your funeral is to be conducted. It answers the questions that need to be answered, makes the decisions that need to be made, and it can protect grieving loved ones in critical ways.
Leonard had convinced me that this was something that we had to do, and I didn't really want to do it, but I sat down and we did it, and I'm glad now that we did it because it made it awfully easy when the time came. I had enough to go through without having to go through making up my mind what I was going to do.
It can prevent overspending on the part of loved ones during an emotionally stressful time because you control the costs now. And a funeral plan can prevent worry on the part of loved ones about how your funeral expenses will be paid.
There was no money taken up at my father's funeral. Everything was paid for. It was great.
There's free funeral planning assistance. That includes any information the member may want concerning funeral options and the costs. All the member has to do is call toll-free with his or her questions. Included in the FCGS membership kit are the funeral plan forms that the new member fills out as much as he or she wants and then sends back to FCGS. Their funeral plan now down on paper.
It was really easy to do it here at the kitchen when I didn't need it. It only took us maybe a half an hour or 45 minutes.
I was sort of eerie about it because planning, was sort of scary to me. But I seen that it wasn't so bad later on.
After funeral planning assistance comes funeral plan security. FCGS stores the member's funeral plan in secured computerized archives. The member receives an ID card that permits them access to their secured plan and enables the member to alter their funeral plan if they wish. The new FCGS member also receives 4 auxiliary ID cards. These they can give to family members and friends if they wish, one of whom will most likely be the person in charge of the funeral arrangements and other details when the member dies. Finally, after funeral planning assistance and funeral plan security, there's free funeral plan activation help. Once notified by phone of the member's death, FCGS contacts the funeral home previously selected by the member and also contacts the insurance company or other funeral funding organization, if any.
He was at the hospital, and I had my cell phone, and I was with him when he passed away. And anyway, I picked up my cell phone and I called. It was so easy.
Not knowing what to do with his body and stuff, she helped us through the whole process, which helped me because I was just a mess.
FCGS will provide the funeral home with the member's funeral plan and will act to support the funeral purchasing portion of the plan on behalf of the member's wishes.
It gave me that time to grieve when I wouldn't have had that if I had to do it on my own.
FCGS membership means free funeral planning assistance, free funeral plan security service, and free funeral plan activation help. And yet, FCGS membership in no way puts any obligation on the member for anything.
Great experience. It was a great experience.
It was a great experience for me, for someone who never planned a funeral, and to have had a funeral that was planned so well.
The Funeral Consumer Guardian Society protects the member's final wishes and protects the member's loved ones when that final day arrives, as it does for all of us.
I really, really am thankful. The Funeral Consumer Guardian Society was there when I needed them.
I would recommend it highly.
Stop and ask yourself, who will be the one most likely to take charge of your funeral arrangements when you die? Your spouse or other family member? A friend? It would be great then, wouldn't it, if you had a membership in the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society. Then, that loved one in charge of things could get the expert help they'll need to have it all go smoothly and easily for them. Well, right now you can enroll in the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society, and at no cost to you. Your FCGS membership is free when you use a final expense plan from Lincoln Heritage to help fund your funeral, protecting loved ones from having to pay your funeral bills. So the first thing to do to get started on your free FCGS membership is complete the brief membership form. And then complete the easy funeral cost estimate so you as a consumer can find out what funerals cost on average in your area. Good, better, and best. Your Funeral Advantage representative can help you with that, with information compiled by the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society. Once you know what different funerals in your area cost, you're ready to find out how little it costs to have an expense plan from Lincoln Heritage ready to help cover the cost of a funeral. Your Funeral Advantage representative will show you 3 plan benefit options, so you can select the Lincoln Heritage Final Expense Plan that suits your preferences and budget. Then it's just a matter of signing the application for your final expense plan and the FCGS membership form. When your Funeral Advantage materials arrive in the mail, they will include your final expense plan from Lincoln Heritage to help loved ones pay your funeral bills, your free membership in the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society, which offers experienced help for the family member or friend who will be seeing to your funeral arrangements someday.
And when you made that phone call to them and let them know that this is what we were willing to pay and got us into the exact coffin that we wanted, great experience. It was a great experience.
It made it awfully easy when the time came. I mean, I had enough to go through without having to go through making up my mind what I was going to do. I really, really am thankful.
There was no money taken up at my father's funeral. Everything was paid for. I mean, it was great.
Funeral Advantage provides funeral funding from Lincoln Heritage and free membership in the Funeral Consumer Guardian Society. Funeral Advantage is your complete solution if you want things to go smoothly and easily for the family member or friend who will be seeing to your funeral arrangements someday.